Now, who grows roses here? Do you have to spray them a lot? No? Good. Yeah, yes. Do they look all right? Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Do you use our product? See, I only grow a few roses, just ones that I grew up with, which have a bit of sentimental value to me through my parents and relatives. So when the neighbours heard I was going to put roses in, they said you can't grow them because in the valley you get the moisture come up the valley every morning and deposit over everything. So the orchids love it, the bromeliads love it, the tropicals love it. But they said you just can't grow roses. So yeah, so I put the roses in, pumped the garden mate into it, and as they flashed up, they took that calcium and silica up in particular. See, calcium once again has that, it's a double edge with the fungus. See, fungus, the spores land on the leaf, they throw out their hyphae or taproot, produce enzymes, which they call pectolytic enzymes, which then break through the weak cell wall. So when you've got a strong cell wall, they've got to produce more enzymes to break through, but also calcium inhibits those enzymes as well. So you've actually got a double edge against that by getting high levels of calcium into the plant. So as the new growth flushed up, all of a sudden no black spot. So the spores are there because the very oldest leaves have got black spot, but that's its role in nature, is to break down weak cell walls and return those nutrients back into the soil as part of the process. You go up to a rainforest, it's full of fungi because it's breaking those nutrients down and returning to the soil. If it's on new leaves, it's because those cells are actually weakened. It's and same with bugs. If you see bugs on the new leaf, it's because that is not, it's actually got weak cell walls, even though it might look good. Lawn grub's a classic. Pump your lawn fertiliser, your high nitrogen in there, quick green, bang, lawn grub comes and eats it. Why? Because the cells have stretched, released all those sugars, and they've just had a field day. So as you get the mineral-based lawn food in, it's like the lawn blend, then so you've got the mineral in there plus a bit of lawn fertiliser. I think you mentioned that before, the 4%. We have professional turf growers who ask us about the 4%, so we just say try it. And one of my favourite endorsements is down in Freeman's Reach, west of Sydney. They grow 15 hectares of Sir Walter buffalo, and they put half a tonne of this down post-harvest to break up the compaction and also build the biology up to strengthen the against the likes of the frost that comes through as well. The main thing I noticed was less bug issues. And because that was the thing I tried to avoid. Having land for wildlife, I didn't want chemicals, didn't want to spray because, you know, I'm cut into a rainforest conservation park, so I got this crazy amount of bird life. That's when I noticed, okay, I'm getting more and more butterflies, but I'm getting less and less damage on my veggies. So I started to have a good look at that, and I mean, I already learned that when you use high nitrogen, because as soil scientists tell you need high nitrogen for your leafy veggies. Can't grow them without it. So I showed him a few pictures and he sort of stopped talking to me then. But anyway, so I said, well, the problem with nitrogen, chemical nitrogen, is it stretches the cell like a rubber band. So that cell stretches and that cell wall weakens. Now the first process in the cell is to create simple sugars. The simple sugars go to photosynthesis. But when the cell walls weaken, they leach out. Now you've got what you call Lepidoptera, which are your caterpillars. They take those simple sugars to create the energy so they can then grow. So they love it, absolutely love it. You get your sapsuckers. They, like your scales, whiteflies, that sort of thing. So they suck the sap out to get those simple sugars. Now you'll always see ants. Why are these ants on this plant? Because they're farming the scale and the aphids and those, because those take the simple sugars out, take the sugars, take the simple, and then excrete the complex sugar, and that's what the ants go for. But they can only do that when the pressure of that sap is low. So when that plant is just growing, they can suck that out no problem. But once you raise the metabolism of that plant, that sap gets stronger, and that bug then finds it harder to get the sap out. So it's got to spend more energy getting the sap out than it's actually getting out of the plant. It's like you're starving, absolutely starving. I'm going to run down to KFC. You get there, the doors are locked. You've got to spend a lot of energy to get in there to get something to eat, more than you'll actually get. So chances are you'll then go somewhere else and look for somewhere open, and that's what the bugs will do.